Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Upton Farm. So, I've got our speed slowed down to 1, time compression 1. Let me tell you what's going on. There's a couple things. One thing is we are 595,000 pounds in debt. And I'm beginning to wonder whether or not we're going to be able to make money with this map. I really am. So, what I had planned on doing is we're over here in this sort of no-name field here, just under field 40, which is a grass field. I was waiting for our grass to get to growth stage 2. I've jumped ahead a few days. I was waiting for our grass to get to growth stage 2, and I was going to fertilize it, because you can see these grass fields right here all need a final coat of fertilizer. The two over by the grain cell point do not. The two by our farm do not. And then the ones over on the east side of the map do. So that was my plan. However, we've got winter canola in fields 24, 27, and 28. It is up, it is ripe, and it is harvested. And we can get some money for it. Not a lot, but a little. And we need money. So what I'm going to do is spray this field that we're in, and then drive back to the farm. There it is. Drive back to the farm, pick up a tipper, and drive to the store. We're going to rent a cheap combine harvester, a small one. We're going to harvest these fields and sell that grain and then return the harvest. I was going to do grass work today, but we're going to harvest. And something else that I can tell you, well, let me get back in here. Something else that I can tell you, if you look over here, fields 32 and 34 indicate that they've been harvested. They have not. We planted sunflowers in them, right? And I was very cautious. I thought I was, that we planted our sunflowers when they were in season, in cycle, that we could plant them. And I'm beginning to suspect that there really is something glitched out on this map, either in my save game or with the weather. Something's not right about this map and seasons. So I guess that kind of brings us to the second thing. It's very early morning here. It's 6:15 in the morning. I guess that sort of brings us to the second thing, which is figuring out what we're going to do next. And I'll tell you what the possibilities are as we get this field sprayed. So today is August 1st in real life. And I found out, I guess this news came out last week and I just hadn't seen it. But the release date for FS19 is November 24th, which is just about 4 months from now. August, September, October, and most of November. And I think that's enough time to play a new map. And I think this map, I don't want to say there's anything wrong with the map. I don't want to say there's anything wrong with seasons. I think, let's just say it's a corrupted game file, save game file, or because I was trying to run the Scandinavian weather patch for seasons. I don't know. I hate to ever say anything bad about anybody else's work, so I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with the map. Certainly not. And there's, as far as I know, nothing wrong with seasons, although they patch it and update it periodically. It's a work in progress. I don't know what's going on with this map, but I know last year we lost all our soybeans. And we lost, I want to say, like, some of our grass. We weren't able to do a full second cut. And if that happens again, because like these are all soybeans over here, I wanted to do a small sort of a test field of soybeans. And what I ended up doing was planting 3 big fields of soybeans. Now, if those don't come in like last year, we're done financially. We will not be able to recover from that, because we're getting to a point where our tractors have no value to sell. They've depreciated enough that we can't sell them. They have no value there, and there's no, if we can't get 2 full cuts out of the grass, I mean, at that point we're really just a grass farm, right? And grass and canola, and that's not a lot of fun. I mean, I think from one angle, a farm is fun for like 1 or 2 seasons to watch. I mean, to play. There are farms that I could play season after season, but I think there are some farms that it's really only fun to watch you go through the cycle once or twice, and then it's like, yeah, okay, I've seen that. So this farm, if everything is working properly, this is a great farm, and I would have no problem playing it through till November. If this is a problematic, or at least if the save game is problematic, with regards to seasons, then I have no problem sort of bringing this map to a close, and we get another one going. So what I'm thinking is, just barely cleared it. So what I'm thinking is, let's do that anyway. Right? Did I miss it? Am I over too far? It's hard to tell with these textures sometimes. Nope, there it is. So what I'm thinking is, let's do that anyway. Let's get another map going, and there's one that I have in mind. We've got a British map. We've got an American map. Let's get a map from somewhere else going. And I think I've picked one out. So I guess what I'm saying is, if our harvest comes in intact, we're going to keep this map going. If our harvest does not come in intact, we are going to close this map out. And harvest should be probably in real life, probably in 3 episodes, so 2 to 3 weeks. And in the meantime, we're going to get another farm going, and it'll be I'll do that next week, and it'll be a bit of a surprise between now and then. But yeah, the soybeans, it's not how, I got quite a bit of overlap there. It's not exactly how I intended it to go. I just wanted to do a couple little soybean fields like as a test. And I actually wanted to do the ones that we planted our sunflower in. But soybean wasn't available, which is why we planted sunflower, because we couldn't plant soybean yet, and we had enough canola. So just to mix it up a little bit, I planted sunflowers, and then it didn't work out anyway. So I think like an XML file is corrupted or something. I thought for a minute that I accidentally had 2 weather patches running at the same time, which will mess everything up. But that's not the case. So I really don't know what's going on. But I feel more and more every time I sort of see something like that happen, and it seems to be happening a couple of times per season now. Every time I see something like that happen, I think there's something not right. Something is amiss. So, not a big deal. Not a big deal either way. It's just a game. So, I'm going to get another map going next week, and then we'll go from there. Because, like I said, as it stands right now, we should get, I estimate, about 250,000 pounds per it's not a full hopper at the BGA. We don't fill it, but we put about 500,000 liters in there, and that gives us about 250,000 pounds of profit, plus a ton of slurry. Well, digestate. You know what I mean. So if we can do 2 full cuts, that's 250 and 250, and that more or less covers our debt, and then what we sell for crops and wool is sort of our profit or our gravy, or however you want to say it. But as it stands right now, if we can only do 1 cut and all of those soybeans are lost again, we won't, we're not really making any money on this map. And we also, I said, our equipment has depreciated enough that we can't really sell it. And it's also getting to a point where it's going to become more and more and more expensive to maintain it every season. And that will push us out of profitability. If we don't have money in the bank when our equipment starts needing more work, or a couple seasons after that when it needs replacing, then we'll go bankrupt. We will not make any money. So that's where we're at. That's the state of the union. Right. So let's get this thing put away, and then we'll hop in a tractor and grab a tipper. And yeah, that was a bit of a surprise to me. I was curious if the winter canola would come up, as far as being ready to harvest, if it would come up before caught on a tank, and sure enough, it did. So not a big deal. We just need to improvise a little bit, and then we'll do grass work next episode. And it's kind of nice in a way to have like a surprise harvest, because What I've been trying to do, and the reason I've been skipping ahead on days, like it's the 7th day of summer right now, it's late summer. The reason I've been doing that is I want every episode that something different than the previous episode happened. I never want to do the same thing in 2 consecutive episodes. And I realized looking back at some of my earlier videos from when I first started the channel is I was trying to show every single thing that happened on the farm. And that's not really, I don't think, necessarily the best way to do it. Although I know there are some channels that do that. That's the T8. The T7 is in the yard. I still need to take our drill off it. So let's do that. Let's drop the drill and the front tank, pick up a weight, which is back here, pick up a weight, and then grab that tipper right there. Okay. And I think I know the harvester, the combine harvester that we're going to rent. In fact, well, there's some bad news. I don't even know if we have enough credit available to rent one. So this could be, things could get a little grim here. Because what we'll need to do is, like I don't think we're going to get a ton from this winter canola. Maybe 30 or 40,000 pounds. But that will at least cover the price of the rental. And probably, and then some. But we have to get it out of the ground to do it, right? So it's like we can either rent a piece of equipment, get this canola in, and everything that we get from the canola will just cover the cost of the rental, or we can let it rot in the ground. And something about that just seems doesn't seem very, very farmery, you know? It's not how you should do it if you're a farmer. So we won't. We'll get that crop out of the ground. And who knows, maybe it will be worth more. Probably didn't need to pull it that far. And I also, I don't think we have any canola in the silo, but I'm going to take a look, because if we do, let's load it up. And we do not. Okay, cool. We'll drive over there like this. And I'm going to head out the front door of the farm. The front gate of the farm, which I normally don't do. I'm going to head out the front gate of the farm so I can close it behind us, because I just have a thing about closing gates. That's just how I am. Right. So out we go. And now I hope I have I know there are several small combines. In fact, the smallest one is it the Samplo Rosenlu? Now I'm caught on an electrical box. Is it the Samplo? Sampo. There's one, it's the smallest, most affordable, cheapest combine harvester in the game. It's a base game model. And I know that one's loaded because it's base game. You don't have to load it. But there's another one that I may have. It's a mod, and I may have it loaded. If I do, that will be the one that we rent. If I don't, then we'll just take one of the very cheap base game combines. And I think what we'll do is since we sprayed that field. Well, I mean, I brought you up to speed, but that took a few minutes. Sort of brought you up to speed on what's going on the map, and then I sprayed that field. So what we'll probably do is just get this equipment rented, and then I'll bring in one small field, or we'll go till the tipper's full or something. I don't know, but we're not going to harvest all this canola. We'll just harvest enough of it to sort of, you know what I mean, give you an idea of what this episode is. And that's the other thing I'm trying to do is, since I don't want to do time lapses, I can't necessarily show you, all the way through to the end of an activity. particularly on Lone Oak Farm, or I guess on some of the big fields in this farm. If I showed you like an entire harvest of a field, the episode would be 2.5 hours long, and it would just be harvesting. And I know because I've seen it on YouTube. I know there is a certain type of audience that likes that, but I don't know if that's necessarily my audience. So I don't know that I would do that. I mean, there is a certain appeal, because I'm a little OCD. I like the AMSR, but not everybody does. Some people like you to pick up the pace a little bit, keep it moving. Now we've got 6,200 pounds in our checking account right now. Before I borrow any money, I'm going to go down to the store and see what we need. And I think what we might do, man, I don't want to buy this thing. You know what I mean? Because we've got other crops coming in 2 days, 2 game days. Is it worth it to just buy a little one? Like, we don't need to buy a 500,000 pound combine harvester. We can buy just like a little one. Because we've got a couple big fields, but we got a lot of little fields. It's like, it makes more sense to use a little combine for big fields than it does to use a gigantic 500,000 pound combine for little fields. I think I said that in a way that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, if we can only do one of the two, the cheaper one is almost always going to make more sense. Maybe. Okay. Well, I guess money's going to determine that to some extent. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got for cash. Right. So we get this parked up, and we're going to turn this off and hop out. And here we go. Harvesters. The Sampo Rosenlu. We can rent that for 11,000. Is that right? Yeah, we can rent that for 11,000. And the one that I was thinking of, see, this is a TC590. We can rent for 15,000. And then I have a mod version, yeah, right here, which we can rent for 11,000. Ooh, but it's got all kinds of goodies. I like the goodies. Oi. Rotor fan cover. Look at all this stuff. Okay, still only 14 grand. And then is there another TC? Yes, no. There's a CR 7.90. That's not bad to rent. Okay, so this is actually the cheapest of all, and it's a mod with some nice paint. And then we got to rent a header for it. And I'm just confirming how much money we need to borrow. So that's going to be over here, and that looks like, yeah, nope, one more, that's it. To lease that, so we're at about 12 plus a trailer. Where's the trailers? There they are. Plus a trailer. And we'll rent this one because it's my favorite one. 1,000. So let's see how much money we can borrow. Enough? Okay. So let's get this thing first. No options. We almost bought it. So we're going to lease that, right? We're going to go over here and lease this guy. Almost bought it again. Lease. And then we go here. Wide tires. Big fan. And we lease that. Oh, okay. Okay. We can't return anything because it's leased, so we can't sell it. You know what I mean? We can't we can't just sell that stuff where it sits. We would have to move it anyway. So if we're going to move it to return it, why don't we just move? You see what I'm saying? It makes sense in my head. Everything makes sense in my head. Right. So let's pull this thing up. Where's the angle? It's on that side. Okay, so let's get this thing flipped around so that when we do get our combine harvester, we can put it on here. So get this out of the way, take it back over by our tipper. This episode is turning into a hot mess. Now, a question before we do this. I don't know how much money we can borrow. Should we just buy this thing for 95 grand? And then that would be our harvester. Oh, let's see. Let's see how much we can borrow. All right. This makes more sense. Let's just do it. Okay. One more bump to the loan. There you go. Oh, we are upside down, man. Wow, are we? Okay. So this is pretty small for some of our fields, but that's just how it's going to have to be. So let us get our AdBlue turned on, break off, and get our gearbox configured. Good to go there. So because we bought this thing, and we don't need to worry about returning it now, I'm going to do something. This is a very special header trailer. I don't know if you're familiar with this mod, but it's got a couple cool features, and I will show them to you. I will try to show them to you. I really want to show them to you. There we go. Huh. Well, that, first off, that needs to stop. And I think if we do that... No. Not even close. Okay. So... not giving up. Never. Never, never giving up. So let's flip this around this way. Brake on. And we'll come and grab this thing. Should have just left it hooked up. Right. So now, I can show you some of the very cool features of this trailer if you're not familiar with it. So one thing it does is this. You can extend the tongue out. And the other thing that it does is it rotates. So, you know, sometimes you pull into a field and you end up with the connection node on your header on the wrong side when it's on the trailer. Well, not that way. With this thing, you can flip it around without driving through your crop. Now, normally you can connect it to a combine. And this one, for some reason, you can't, but that's not the end of the world. So we go up here now, and we're going to do this. And when you extend it out, this is not the biggest header, but this will still keep it from bumping against the back of whatever you're using to haul it. Does that look about right? Maybe a little too far forward. How about like that? Beautiful. So where are we going? We're going to, let's do the big field first. Is that what we said? And that's field 26. Field 24. Last one before the railroad tracks. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then let's do this. Sorry, concentrating, focusing, you know how I get. That is a deeply tinted window. Dang. Okay. Works for me. So that is 26, and we're going to field 24. Is that right? I forgot already. We're going to this next one. We're going to this one. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So, go here. Wow, that's really tinted. Okay. So we're going to pull in here. Set the brake. And let's get this guy going. Let's get, sir? Ah! Oh, this is not a good gaming day. Oh, God. Oh, it's really not. It's really not. Okay. So you stop. And that's just in the way now, so where am I going to put this? I'll put him up at the dairy. Oh, you know what? I just realized we're in the wrong field anyway. That's not 26. That's not 24. That's 26. Oh, this is a comedy of errors. It really is. 24. Okay, so we're in the right place. Our combine harvester is in the wrong place, and our header is definitely in the wrong place. And I don't know actually what to do about that, because I don't think there's enough room to get this thing in there, and there's nothing else to pick it up with, and we can't sell it where it sits because it's rented. This is actually kind of an emotional moment for me, because we got problems. But we got problems. So if I nudge it, if I drive over it, then what happens? Let's see. Can I get in there? Can I shove it? Yes, yes I can. But is it too wide for the road? It has to be. It has to be. Oh, what kind of a clown carnival is this? Oh. Oh. But, close this gate. I've done that. I've gone to that field accidentally, oh, I don't know, 50, 60 times. I don't know what it is. I have some kind of a block about this one that's like kind of hidden over here. Now, can I pivot this thing in here? Yes. Ah. Right. So that we open. Does this thing open or unfold? It does not. Let's do a little harvesting here. I'm going to slow this down. Not quite that far. All right there. Perfect. So let's see how fast this thing fills up, and then we're going to need to drop that header trailer and drive the T7 back to the store to get our tipper. Okay. This is a really cool. Is there IC in here? I don't think so. Nope, I don't see any IC. But this is a very cool combine harvester. And it's small. I mean, it's small, but it's not completely inappropriate for this map. I think for field 22, which is the biggest field on the map, I think it's going to be, I mean, even this field, it's going to take a while. I won't do the whole thing on camera, but it's small. It's probably just a little too small, but it's not the end of the world, and it's going to prevent us from spending 500,000 pounds next fall like we do every year, which is why we're so deep in debt. Now, we did a couple things. We bought that wheel loader, which was 200,000 pounds, and we bought field 22, which I want to say was 300,000 pounds. So there's our, well, we're 600,000 in debt right now, but 500,000 of that is that field and the wheel loader. So I've been a little bit reckless with money, but there have been moments when we've been out of debt or close to it on this map. So it hasn't all been a complete catastrophe. Close though, definitely close. And when I get back to the starting point here, I'm going to flip around, so we'll be going clockwise and get the pipe on the right side, but it didn't seem likely that we would fill this thing in one headland, so I didn't worry about going anti-clockwise first time around. Well, this will at least put some money in the checking account, although I say we'll put some money in the checking account, and all it cost us was 100 grand. So I know this map can be profitable, but I feel like between some of my bad choices and losing our soy crop and some of our grass crop last year, I feel like the deck has been stacked against us. So we'll see. We'll see. But you know, ultimately, you know what you do? You delete the save game to start a new map. I'm not, you know, it's not like I've been a complete goofball on this map. I've really tried to play realistically and tried to make it profitable. And things, like I said, things have, from one perspective, from one angle, they have worked out. And I've made some, you know, we got that Coda Taurus slurry tanker. And that was, I think we bought it for 300,000 and sold it for 150,000. So that was, you know, 150,000 pound loss. It would be nice to have that 150,000 back right now, because we really, we got nothing from it. We got to play with a piece of equipment for a couple days, but you know, was it worth 150,000 pounds? Probably not. This harvester, this combine harvester, plus a header plus a trailer is 150,000. So it's like what we threw away on that Coda Taurus, we could have essentially had this harvester for free. So there've been some mistakes. There's been a little bit of recklessness, and then there's been some little bit of bugginess with the seasons. But for the most part, I think we've done okay. So I'm going to, let me get up here and get turned around. I'm going to put this thing on a worker and hop in the T7 and go down and get a tipper. So back that up. It's a little tight in here. So, Control H, that's all good. Trace off, on. Wait during unload, off. Okay. No. And let's put, who needs the most? Monica needs the most experience. There you go. Monica. Make me proud. There she goes. Face full of canola chaff. And I'm going to pull this down off the berm here. Whew, this has been exciting. You know what's funny about making these videos is I have like a general direction in mind for the next episode, and it very rarely goes that way. So it's like almost every episode is sort of not improvised, but like, yeah, I guess improvised. It ends up being something completely different than I thought it would be, which is fine, you know, not a big deal. But it's like every single episode that happens. So it is always an adventure on the farm. I thought we'd be doing grass work today, and instead, you know, we spent 100,000 pounds on a combine harvester that's probably a little smaller than what we wanted anyway, and I didn't think I'd be buying it today at all. And you know, etc., etc. It's just the way things work out. So, get back to our field. And I forget what this thing holds. This is 30,000 liters. This thing holds. I can't even remember. But I think we'll be able to empty that combine once or maybe twice. And we're going to have to take it down and sell it straight away. Now, field 22, that's the one that I'm hoping we can put that all in the silo and sell it later. Sell it when we get a better price for it. So we'll have to sell what we're harvesting today, right now, just because we're so because we're so broke. But there will be hopefully an opportunity to bank some of this crop from this year and sell it when we can get a really good price for it. All right. I'm going to catch up. Yep. Monica. Monica, what are you doing? Oh. Alright, I don't know what that's all about. Seems like we've made a recovery. Okay, but we're at 80%, so that worked out. So 8,000 is about a third, so we'll say 25,000. Okay, so let's see how fast Monica fills up again. 25,000 at 1,500 per. What? Oi. 900 per. Okay, well, it's still 25,000 per trailer. It's not the best, but we need the money. All right. So let's see how long it takes her to fill that thing up. And see how long it takes her to make this turn. Thinking, frame rate dropping. Monica. Alright, I don't know how long this is going to last. This is the kind of lag spike that I've been getting, and I don't know what's causing it. I mean, it happened when she made that turn, but I don't know if that's coincidence or not. And we're at 2 FPS right now, and we've been there for about 10 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. Once it should pick up again, and once it does, then I'll hop out and go tend to her. But we're going to have to end it here because, yeah, I mean, the game is like permanently at 3 FPS. It happens, you know, it spikes up and down, but this is like, it's not stopping. So, folks, thanks for stopping back to join the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Upton Farm. We'll see you next time. Take care now.